I have a little over $1,000 worth of sales that I want to share with you in today's video. I pulled these all from the last few weeks on Poshmark and eBay and thought they were worth sharing for one reason or another. Some were really fast, some actually sat for a really long time, and some were higher sale price, lower sale price, just a whole variety, but all within the last few weeks, all very current, selling on Poshmark and eBay. And I did thrift all of these with the intention to sell them online. So I'm gonna hop right in to the first one, which is this vintage Christian Dior houndstooth makeup bag. This sold for $80 on Poshmark, but it did take a while to sell. It took just about a year, 375 days. But after the Poshmark platform fee, shipping costs, and my cost of good, I was left with about $62 in profit. So really great profit. I got that at the bins and didn't spend too much, a couple dollars on it, and then was able to flip it online for $80. Next up was over on eBay, and it was this Coolabar fishing shirt. And this is a brand I really recommend being on the lookout for. They really specialize in sun protection shirts. They're great for fishing, outdoors. So I like to use those kind of keywords when listing Coolabar items, but that did sell on eBay for $34 and left me with $26.22 in total profit. Really great brand to be on the lookout for. Then I sold this Patagonia men's rock craft pant climbing pants. These sold for 20 bucks on Poshmark, and I bought those for $2 at the bins. Took under 3 months, left me with exactly $14 in profit. Next was this J. Crew women's cashmere sweater. This sold for $25 on Poshmark in only a day, which was pretty surprising since it sold in the springtime. I was thinking that one might sit until winter, but it did actually, or even maybe fall, but it did actually sell very fast, and that one left me with $18.33 in total profit. I had it listed at $32, sold it for $25, and only paid $1.67 for it. So really great flip, good return in the end. Then next is this Jung Maven pair of women's joggers. And this is a really excellent brand to know and to be on the lookout for. Items from this brand a lot of times will have organic cotton or hemp, as this one did. And they're just pretty high quality. People are willing to pay up for them a little bit, even on the resale market. These sold for $45, and they don't usually take too long. These ones took 11 days. Left me with $33.18 in profit. They don't always flip that quickly. They can sit a little bit longer than that. I wouldn't say even longer than usually a month or two. I feel like those can sell usually within a month or two turnaround time. So that's a really great brand to know and to be on the lookout for, and one I've had pretty consistent good luck with when I can find it. Then this was the first time I ever found this brand. It's called Johnny O, and this was a men's hoodie. Sold it for $28. And it was just a pretty basic hoodie, had even some like marks and stains on it, but the brand seemed to be desirable enough that I was willing to take that risk even with a couple little flaws. So I made note of the flaws, I took pictures of them, and it still sold for $28, which is great. Took only 20 days, left me with $20.60 in profit. So another brand I really recommend being on the lookout for. It can be a very quick flip, and even with a couple flaws, it can still be a pretty decent sale price. Next up was this Levi's and Justin Timberlake camo hybrid trucker jacket. It was a mixed media. It was, you know, denim on the bottom half, and then what is this, I guess, like cotton or nylon on the top half. And this sold for 40 bucks on Poshmark. I actually had it listed at 100 just to see what would happen, and did ultimately, I think I accepted an offer for 40 unless I sent like really steep offers, but I'm pretty sure someone sent me that offer. Took 51 days, left me with just under $30 in total profit. Then this actually took a really long time to sell. I've had this listed for quite a while, and it was a pair of Beyond Yoga high-rise leggings. Sold for $13 on Poshmark after well over a year, so probably will pass on those moving forward. This next sale was this pair of Patagonia women's leggings. These sold for $18 on Poshmark, and I actually accepted an offer quite a bit lower than my listing price. I had these listed at $58. Probably would have expected them to sell for at least $30. Ultimately did accept an offer for $18. They were listed 143 days. So sometimes I am willing to accept a really steep offer. If the item has been sitting, I'd rather move it out, make a profit, than hold out for maybe another $10 or $15 or so. So just sometimes you gotta work with the buyer. and this was a buyer willing to buy at 18 bucks, so I did accept that. Left me with $12.72, and yeah, it took 143 days, so I don't know, Patagonia has definitely gone downhill a little bit. I know it's still a very good bread and butter brand, a desirable brand to a lot of people, but it's just not quite what it was, I don't know, a year or two ago. Then this pair of Figs women's scrub pants sold for $13 on Poshmark. This is a brand I will sometimes pick up. I know it won't sell for much, but it still is a pretty reliable seller. I know that it will eventually sell and leave me with a little profit. So I bought those for $2.55, sold them for $13, left me with $7.50 in profit. Took about 3.5 months. This next one was pretty cool. I thought it was cool. It was this Patagonia Pearl Snap button down, and it sold for $21. It was, I think, an older, maybe not, organic cotton. I was gonna say I think it's an older piece, but I don't think it was. But made of organic cotton, Pearl Snap's pretty popular, so I was pretty comfortable picking that one up at the bins. Let's see, I paid $3.29, sold it for $21, was left with $13.51. You can really tell in a lot of these how much of an offer I was willing to accept. Like, I'm definitely accepting offers that are quite a bit lower than my asking price, especially because I think, like I said before, it is better just to make sales than to not, and if I'm still making a profit, then that is cool with me. So I did notice, especially for a chunk of time in April, I was really accepting pretty steep offers. I say this in every video, but I'm sorry if you can hear my dog snoring. She really likes to snore when she naps, and she really likes to nap when I film, so that is just the result that we get. Next up was this Tory Burch 100% cashmere women's sweater. This one I ran to at the bins when I saw it being carted out. Sold for 30 bucks. It did have a couple little holes, or a hole, one small hole. So I took a picture of that and even did a picture with an arrow for that one to make sure the buyer knew. But sold for 30. Definitely could have sold for probably 50 or 60 in really excellent condition, especially in kind of peak fall or winter time. But this one sold in April, but it did still sell in about a month and a half. Left me with $22.43 in total profit. Great brand to be on the lookout for, by the way, if you are not already Tory Burch. All right, next was this cool men's button-down shirt. I used lightweight and outdoor for some keywords. This is an excellent brand that I really like to sell. Sold for $17, and that one took 44 days, left me with $11.50 in total profit. This was a pair of Realtree Spell Out sweatpants. They were kind of a flare leg. I thought these were gonna do a little better than they did. I think it is one of those cases of if I would have held out, probably would have sold for a little more, but I really do like a quicker flip. Well, I prefer a quicker flip and a lower profit than waiting a really long time for a slightly higher profit. That's just me. You might be different. These also did have a little bit, or a couple of holes near the brand tag, so you know, that definitely did decrease the value a little bit, but that left me with $5.85. Took under a month to sell. Let me know if you've sold Realtree before, or if you found it. I honestly think that might be the first time I ever found it. And yeah, did, you know, okay. Not great, but not horrible. Then this Arc'teryx performance or like athletic outdoor hat sold for $27 on Poshmark pretty quickly, if I remember right. Took 8 days, left me with just under $20 in profit. And I think Arc'teryx has pretty much taken the spot of Patagonia with like the cool factor, I guess. I don't know. It's definitely, to me, more reminiscent of what Patagonia once was. I think it's a little more leaning towards Arc'teryx these days. But yeah, great sale. Super quick. Next was this Erica Vintage Ditzy Floral Button Front Cropped Camp Shirt. This one was an eBay sale, and I think, yeah, it was a full asking price, $20 sale. Left me with $15.05. It took just about a year, so did sit for a while, but it was a good style. I kind of figured it would sell eventually. Once I picked it up, I thought the style was really good, and that Ditzy floral print can do pretty well, so I was happy that finally did get moved out. Another cool item, this is a pair of cargo shorts, women's shorts, size 12. Sold for $13. Left me with $7.63. Took under 2 months, so, you know, decent bread and butter. Sells pretty quick, but not for a lot. This is a Fox cycling jersey, size extra large. Sold for 10 bucks. And that one left me with $5.85. Did take a while, 194 days. Had it listed at 28 and then sold it for 10. This next one was a ModCloth midi chambray embroidered dress. And this is a brand I have had pretty good luck with their dresses. They don't sell for more than 25, 30 max in my experience, but they can sell pretty well. Sold for 18, and that one did leave me with $12.97. Took a long time actually, 683 days. That is quite a long time, so yeah, I don't know. I guess I would really recommend checking comps and the sell-through rate. If you're gonna pick up this brand, it definitely doesn't usually sell fast, but it can sell for a decent price once it does sell. So I don't know, take that how you will, but I have had enough instances where ModCloth has done pretty well for me. So it's not a brand I've sworn off by any means, but you know, I am not gonna pick up any ModCloth item I find. I will at least look into it. Next was this Beach Lunch Lounge flannel shirt. Really cute colorway, size small, sold for $10 on Poshmark, and that left me with $4.69. Pretty low profit, but still a profit in the end. Took 256 days, so took a little while. This I thought was super cute. It's an airy V-neck pullover, very preppy, and I really liked this camel color, camel tan brown color. There's that tag. This is the newest, I guess, airy brand tag that is floating around out there, so that's the one I do like to grab depending on the item. If it's a good style, I will pick it up. So that took 70 days to sell, left me with $12.52 in total profit. This pair of pants was super cool. They had these embroidered, I guess, sailboats on them. So pretty cute. Let me get a closer, oh no, that's not, I thought I took a close-up of the print, but I guess not. But there's the Polo Ralph Lauren tag. These sold for 20 bucks on Poshmark. Good pair of chino pants. And that left me with $12.61. Took 74 days for these to sell. Then this is a Nike ACG t-shirt that I have sold before. Sold for 15 last time on eBay. This time it sold for 14 on Poshmark. Really fast both times though. So Nike ACG shirts, I think they're really great flips. Usually don't sell for much, but pretty fast. Took 2 weeks, left me with $8.63 in profit. Then a really great brand to be on the lookout for. This is Viore. And this is the Sunrise Crop Tank Top. This sold for 18. One thing I've noticed about Viore is they do attracts a lot of attention, especially on Poshmark. I feel like there are usually a lot of likes on it. On eBay, there's a lot of views and watchers. So I think it's a really great brand to find, not just because it'll flip quickly, but it does seem to bring people into your Poshmark closet or eBay store, and they just seem to get a lot of attention. So that took 3 weeks to sell, left me with $12.78 in total profit. Then this Gymshark hoodie sold next. This is another really good bread and butter brand for me that I love to pick up at the bins if it's in good condition. Almost always sells for 15 to 20 bucks. So it's not one to pay up for if you're gonna thrift it and flip it in order to make a profit. I personally would not spend more than like $3 on Gymshark, but it sells pretty well. Usually like not, it doesn't take too long. Sometimes it sits longer than other times, but not like a super long time. Maybe I take that back. This took 205 days. So that wasn't a fast one. It's, you know, not the worst ever, but not super quick. But I will say it usually does sell, so I don't know. Sometimes sits, sometimes it's quicker than other times, but I don't think ever has it lately been for more than like 20 bucks. So it's a brand I can understand if you just decide to pass on it. Next is this, actually I need a drink of water. Next is this Patagonia men's pullover top. This was an older Patagonia item, made in the US. Sold for 19 on Poshmark, left me with $13.09. Took 2 months for that to sell. Quite a few Patagonia items in this roundup from the last few weeks, so even though it doesn't sell for as much as it once did, it still does sell. It's just much more saturated than it once was, and I think it's just a little less desirable. This brand was new to me. I found this actually at a Racks, so I paid regular thrift store prices for it, unfortunately for me, but the brand is Adenola, and this was just a pair of high-rise leggings. Sold for $15 and left me with $5.01. Took just under 300 days. I paid $6.99. So next time I find that brand, I will only get it at the bins if I'm paying a couple dollars, which would be a little more worth it. This next sale was on eBay, and it was this Fear of God men's pullover shirt. I used long line since it was a pretty long shirt. Size medium. That one sold for 30 bucks. Left me with $22.41. Took 172 days. So that could be a decent sale. It did sit for a little while, but eventually did sell, and I've had decent luck selling this brand in the past. This one I actually found up in the bins up in Seattle, and it's Sandro, so it's just a casual button-down shirt. Sold for $15. I know this is a brand that can sell for more than that, but this instance it sold for $15. Left me with just under $10, took just under 3 months. Next was another eBay sale. It was this Johnny Was tunic top. This took a long time to sell, actually. I thrifted this a while ago. It was kind of a different Johnny Was tag than I've seen before, and kind of a different Johnny Was style, but it did have some flaws throughout, so I knew I had to price it down in order for it to have a chance of selling. And it did eventually sell for $13, but took 680 days, so probably could have left that one behind and been just fine without it, but eventually it did sell. It did leave me the profit. Someone did get a shirt that they liked, and yeah, just kind of unique one. And this next one was a new to me brand, and it's Vilagayo, I think is how you say it. It's a linen pullover v-neck top, and the fact that it was linen and had these really nice tropical print embroidered details made me want to look into it and then pick it up. So it did actually sit for a little while. It wasn't a fast flip, but did sell for $33. Took over a year, left me with $24.74 in profit. So this is one I probably would take another chance on if I find it again, just because the sale price was pretty good, but I wouldn't expect it to be a fast flip if I find it again, or if you come across it. Just, I guess based on my one experience, it wasn't a fast flip, but that doesn't mean it would always be that way. Then I sold this pair of Levi's 501 skinny jeans. They were high-rise, button fly, and I did look up the PC9 number on this tag in order to find the exact wash name, which was Tango Light. And let's see, they are the Levi's Premium, so they have this label on the inside, and then they have this tab. It looks a little different than their other back patch, and then the little red tab on the back has a big E, so that's how you identify that it's premium. But you'll see the Levi's Premium right here, and those ones I think do pretty well in comparison to just standard Levi's contemporary jeans. So I also was able to find a good stock photo with that PC9 number, so I just look up like Levi's 501 skinny jeans and then type in the PC9 number, and I'm usually able to find the exact style online. So these sold for $35 on Poshmark, and that was the full asking price, so that was a really good sale. Left me with $26.33 in total profit, and took under 3 weeks to sell. Next up was this Peter Millar men's shirt. This sold for $20, was a really fast flip. Peter Millar does not always sell that fast. Took only 2 days, sold for $20, left me with $14.25 in profit. This is a brand I really enjoy picking up and flipping. Does seem to have a pretty loyal following, or just a lot of people who like this brand and like their items, so it doesn't always sell that fast, but usually does sell. Then this randomly has become like a really good seller for me. It's these members only windbreakers, and I actually grabbed another one today at the bin, so I've already got another one to list. But this was a members only Looney Tunes windbreaker. Sold for $45 on Poshmark. Someone actually originally bought it for $20 on Poshmark. I accepted that offer, and then they the next day said like, oh, can you cancel it? I didn't actually want to get this. So I was like, all right, so I canceled the order and then I relisted it, and then it sold, you know, however long later for full asking price. So it kind of worked out actually for me that the original buyer didn't want it, but it took 2 months and left me with $33.58 in profit. So these are ones I think people just kind of like pass on, but they can do pretty well. So I really actually have randomly come to enjoy selling these members only windbreakers. This was a new to me brand. It's called Prairie Underground. It's a really good one to know and to be on the lookout for. This I found at the bins, and I had listed it at $68, and then it sold on eBay for $54.40. I think I sent out 20% off offers, and that left me with $42.73 and took 3 weeks to sell. So really, really good brand to know. Pretty fast and a high sale price item. So definitely commit that one to memory if you don't already know that one. That is a good brand to know. Another cool item, this was a men's shirt, kind of a thicker, heavy cotton, organic cotton. And this one sold on eBay for $20, left me with $13.94, very fast, only 3 days. Super quick for a cool item. So, super good sale. Next is this Ariat breeches. They are riding pants. I used equestrian as a keyword. Sold for $15 on Poshmark. I did get these, oh wait, never mind. I thought I got these at a regular thrift store. I did not. I got them at the bins, luckily. Sold them for $15, left me with $9.72 and took 212 days. This is a brand that can do pretty well, but it hasn't sold much for me ever, so I keep my expectations there. When I get this brand, I know it's not going to be necessarily a high price sale, but it will still be a decent sale. Next was this pair of Monsieur by Givenchy pants. I listed these at $60 and then ended up selling them for $40 on eBay. So those I spent $9.99 at a regular thrift store, and that left me with $22.69. It took 1 week to sell. This next one was a new to me brand as well. It's Via d'Este. Made in Italy is why I really wanted to look into it. It looked like a really nice, just classic crew neck sweatshirt, really nice true navy color with the embroidered logo on the chest. So I looked into it and decided to grab it. Listed it at $40. Sold it on eBay for $26, and it took about 3 weeks to sell, left me with just under $20 in total profit for that one. Then this is a brand I really like to find. It can take a little bit sometimes, but it does usually sell pretty well, like for a decent sale price. So this sold for $23. It was a Sapimo cotton mini dress, size medium, sold for $23, and that left me with $17.20. Took 47 days for that to sell. Then another Vuori item, one of my very favorite brands right now, sold, or I had it listed at $45 on eBay and Poshmark. It sold on eBay for $30 in just 2 days. Super quick. Really good pair of men's corduroy shorts. Good time of year for those. So, you know, good brand, good style, good category. All of that resulted in a really good sale. Just a couple more to go. So this is a pair of Vince high-rise trouser pants, and these sold for $42 on Poshmark, but by no means were these fast flip. They took actually quite a long time, 499 days. So definitely a pretty lengthy turnaround time for those, but they left me with $31.68 in the end, and I bought them at the bins. So I paid $1.92, listed them at $60, and then they sold for $42 on Poshmark. And then lastly was this North Face quilted tote bag, and this sold actually very quickly as well. Sold for $22, and that one left me with $14.60. I paid $3 for that at a garage sale, listed it at $28 and sold it for $22. So really good sale, really fast flip, and I don't know, I feel like these really good accessories for this time of year are probably going to be selling pretty quickly. So I'm going to be on the lookout for more bags like this moving forward. I don't know, North Face isn't a brand I always pick up, but it really does depend on the item and on the category and style and all of that. But this one did turn out to be a very good sale. That's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and please let me know down in the comments how your sales have been and if any of these brands were new to you, because actually quite a few of them were new to me, which is always exciting to come across new brands that actually sell for a pretty decent price and pretty quickly, preferably. So let me know if any of these were new to you and how your sales have been. But hope you're all doing well. Hope you have a very good rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video.